Don't eat 5 servings of pistachio nuts after your breakfast. You will get indigestion. And don't do it if you got work.
Don't get migraines either. They're not fun.
No. But, no, that was a true story. From Christmas Day.
Oh, shit.
From New Year's Eve and today.
Oh, shit.
Overindulged in pistachio nuts and I got indigestion. At
Why?
work.
Why?
Huh?
Is a pistachio nuts particularly nice?
Yeah, they are.
Ah.
They're fun to open as well. Anyway,
right.
Patreon.com/Genesis of Androzani if you wish to fund me so I can buy some medication for my pistachio nut addiction.
And we can get some more equipment and stuff.
Yes.
That's good.
Yep. So that's an option.
Woo!
Adam, what was your initial reaction to Resolution of the Daleks? That's what it should be called.
No, canonically that is what it's called.
Is it?
No, but
should be.
Everyone I've talked to is a Doctor Who fan.
It's like how season 25, the anniversary special is Silver Nemesis, but everyone knows it's Remembrance.
Yeah, exactly. Resolution, my initial reaction was it was fine. And
in regards to Chibnall's episodes, how was it?
Maybe his best?
Yeah.
But that's like saying having ice in your water is better than refrigerated water. It's still pretty bland.
That would be like saying the best Russell T Davies episode is Planet of the Dead.
Yes. where it was that's a good comparison, where I found it just completely fine.
Fun, but has its positives, has its negatives, but
it didn't anger me particularly. There's a couple, like, we'll get into them more specifically, but there's a lot of little niggly things I'm like, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, I'm like, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, but none of it rose to a level where I was thoroughly engaged.
No.
I was just...
This should be Chibnall's sort of like in moderate level script.
It's the special. It should just be fun and fine.
Yeah, if you plaster Stephen Moffat's name onto this, don't change it in or anything. Just like keep it the same quality. This would be like one of his middle
of the road,
of the road ones, and it would be one of Russell's lower ones.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
it's just
whereas this is maybe Chibnall's best episode.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they continue on an upward trajectory, so that when they get to series 12, it's good.
Yeah.
But
my initial reaction was mixed. So there was half of it I wasn't really big on. Like I would say half of it was basically how I felt about the rest of series 11.
Yeah.
And then the other half, which I'm sure you lot can guess what that half is, I actually did quite enjoy.
Yes. Even for me, a lot of it, like, it was like, the best way to describe it was give and take, where in select scenes I'd be like, I like this, but I dislike this at the same time. There'd be something that I like in a scene, whilst also simultaneously something else would be happening or presented to me that I didn't like. So it was so wishy-washy the whole way that I was so ambivalent to it.
But no, it wasn't bad though.
No, it wasn't bad. It was fine. Just fine.
One of series 11's highlights. Somehow.
It was fine.
Since when was the last time that we had like a Christmas or New Year's special where it was one of the highlights of the series?
On paper, Twice Upon a Time should have been that.
Time of the Doctor? Oh, that's a bit of a polarizing one, but I would say Time of the Doctor.
Yes, because it's part of Series 7, so yes.
Yeah.
Because of the Doctor quadrilogy is the best thing of Matt Smith's era. Except Series 5. So, most of it, but, it's hard to say.
Sort of like the best consistent few episodes in a row, maybe?
But then again, Series 5 is really good.
Yeah, but no. It's good, but it's like...
It's not aged.
In terms of individual episodes, I don't think it's as good as people say it is.
No. But...
I mean... Vincent and the Doctor and the Lodger and the Pandorica Opens Big Bang's kind of a decent... downward trajectory, but
it still ends in a good place.
Yeah. That's about it.
But, you know, to make your point, the last sort of special that was a highlight of the series was probably Time with the Doctor.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, it was polarizing, it was still... I mean, I don't think it's a particularly good story, but I enjoyed it.
It was good compared to the rest of Series 7.
Honestly, it's
similar
like,
to how this was good compared to the rest of Series 11.
Yeah, this honestly was my... Time with the Doctor was my favourite Matt Smith Christmas special.
It still is.
Yeah.
Still is mine, yeah.
Yeah. I just...
Go watch my Christmas ranking, day 1 of the Advent calendar.
Way, that's a throwback.
But it's not my favourite Christmas special.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got off topic.
A little bit, yeah.
Slightly. Yeah. Hey. Right, back to Resolution.
Yes.
What did you think of the Doctor?
Chibnall doesn't write the Doctor well.
Yeah, this was the I said before the episode, I said this is when she needs to break out.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't.
No.
She was the same, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like 5% better.
Yeah, maybe, but
Maybe.
but even there it was like debatable because it was just
like she wasn't as bad as she was in some other episodes.
no, not at all.
Like the finale where she was really until the end. This one, yeah, nah.
But just
she was. I don't like how she is trying to like. The thing is though, the thing about the Doctor in this episode is she's trying to play the moral high ground like other Doctors do, but when she does it, she doesn't. Like usually when other Doctors do it, you kind of like, oh yeah, you're making a point there. Whereas when she's doing it, it sounds like she's just whining about something.
yes, and also just we keep going on about this, but there's no nuance. And I saw an argument where someone said, well, yes, but you've got to start somewhere for the Doctor to grow from there. Yes, that is true. But every Doctor, except maybe McCoy, even when they started and it was a bit rocky, there was still a character there.
Yeah.
There was still more than just the surface. And it's... she's written so poorly because she's just too affable to just...
Yeah.
She's got some of the quirks of the Doctor without any of the actual, like... Character or gravitas or wit. At times she just comes across as clueless.
Yeah.
Even, like... The Doctor misunderstanding things can be done as quirky, but when it's done to this degree where it's just like, is that your intruder alert or mine? Like, lots of little things like that where it's like, that... I know a lot of other Doctors, specifically Matt Smith, have that kind of attitude, but it just... When there's nothing else to back that up. Because Matt Smith, when he was serious and good, it was one of the most captivating performances of the Doctor.
Yeah.
But we haven't been given any of that old soul, any of that.
The best part of Victory of the Daleks is when he first sees it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, for fuck's sake, like, there's nothing. There's nothing. She doesn't need to be like all misery guts. She doesn't need to be like Eccleston or Capaldi. But still, she's an 1,000-year-old being.
Yeah.
And there's none of that there. I don't ever get any of the age. Like, there was a couple, like, they always come back kind of moments.
She's just a quirky school teacher, to be honest.
Yeah, she feels like Mrs. Frizzle from...
Yeah, from Magic School Bus.
Except Mrs. Frizzle was cooler.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
I just... I want... And the thing is, I'm going to seem like I'm very agitated and angry. It's because I am. Because I want to love her as the Doctor.
Yeah.
I want to love the show, but with...
It's weird because she had in that reveal they did at the tennis, when she was first revealed, she had that gravitas.
When she wasn't saying anything, but then, like, with that little image they gave us of her pulling the hood down, that was a more interesting and captivating version of her Doctor than anything I got in Series 11 and Resolution.
Yeah.
Like, all the intense moments in Resolution just felt like shallow interpretations of previous encounters with the Daleks we've seen before. Fucking... Evolution of the Daleks and Daleks in Manhattan had more gravitas in it than
Hell
this.
yeah. Hell yeah.
It's a messy and crazy episode, but the treatment of the Daleks...
The Doctor is fantastic in that episode.
Yeah, and it just... I want to love her. I want to love the show, but I just can't. I'm so bored by it. I'm so bored. I'm so unengaged. I'm so just... there's nothing there for me. I'm really struggling with this show. I hope Series 12 picks it up, but fuck, there's very little to go from here.
Yep.
Especially now, the one subplot that Ryan had has been resolved. We'll get to that. But
I was about to go on to that, yeah.
Well, you want to take it away?
Yeah, well, I mean, Ryan was heavily featured, but... Nah.
The thing is, his scenes with his dad, and just in general, Tosin Cole's a very good actor, and he does a lot of good performances in this episode. Couple wonky line deliveries.
I think the problem with him is, he could be, but the problem is he's not. He doesn't have a natural Yorkshire accent, so what he has to do is he has to put on an accent and act at the same time, which is very, very hard. And
also, the scripts aren't good enough for him to be able to shine through it.
Yeah, what they should have done is they should have just had him be from the South and have Sharon D. Clarke put on a Southern accent.
Yes, that
would have been so much easier.
Yeah, and it just... Now, the stuff with his dad was really good family drama in terms of intention. In execution, for the most part, it was pretty solid. But in terms of fitting within the narrative of the story...
Yeah, no,
it was very unnatural.
And also, because there is a way to interweave drama like that into a story with a Dalek story.
Yeah.
And the perfect example is The Parting of the Ways. Parting of the Ways balances a Dalek story and Rose's sort of home story with Jackie and Mickey very well. It all feels like it's part of the same... stream.
It feels like, because Ryan and his dad's story has fuck all to do with the Dalek stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, the Dalek, he ends up getting involved in the Dalek in the end, but at this point, there's no, it feels like two different shows. It doesn't feel like two different stories as a part of the same show.
It's almost like that scene forgets what the actual plot's going on is.
Like, that scene would seem a little hokey, but it wouldn't seem entirely out of place in something like Broadchurch. It's not as well refined as the stuff into because Broadchurch is just naturally a much heavier show.
Yeah, which is strange because it's by the same man.
Yeah, supposedly.
Someone ghost wrote Broadchurch.
Maybe Rob Shearman. Did you know he wrote on Born and Bred, apparently?
Rob Shearman?
Yeah, apparently so. Unless I've misread that information.
Did everyone just die and that was the season finale?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it turns out everyone had a gluten intolerance. I don't know. Whatever.
Pistachio intolerance.
Yeah, well, I have that. That's just nuts.
There we go.
No, yeah. The drama wasn't necessarily bad, but it just didn't... I found it distracting. As opposed to enhancing the story, it distracted from the story.
They stopped the story to do it.
Yes. And
it was the same thing in the Saranga Conundrum when they stopped. Like, there's this alien creature destroying the spaceship, and they stopped the story to have Ryan and Yaz talk about his dad.
And yes.
Same thing in Arachnids in the UK.
And even... Now, people could bring up something like, the end of time. But there is 5 years building up to that. At that point, it's okay. And plus, the other thing is it's the Doctor.
Yeah.
That's the key difference. The story's...
And also, on top of that those scenes, like you're talking about the cafe scenes, right?
Yes.
That weaves in between the plot, because at the end of that scene, you get Donna and, what's his name, Lance?
Yes.
Or is it the other guy?
No, Lance is the one from Runaway Bride.
Right.
It is... Oh, God, what's his name? Temple. Simon Temple or something?
Oh, yeah, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Because Noble Temple. That'll be Temple Noble.
Yeah.
I miss you, Russell.
Yeah, but basically, that... End of time's weird, but it weaves... All the stories weave together, at least.
Yes.
Whereas in this, they stopped the story to do this Ryan stuff. If for example, like say Ryan and his dad were sitting in the cafe, and then he looks outside and the Doctor's like,
yeah,
because we gotta go,
Yeah.
That if you actually weave the story together, it would make more sense.
Yes, and yeah, It just the pacing was off. It wasn't inherently a bad story or a bad subplot. It's just
wasn't well crafted.
Chibnall doesn't know how to integrate sci-fi and drama.
No, not at all. They feel very separate.
Yeah, and even then, he's usually struggles with the sci-fi in general.
Yeah, except for this episode, which he did a pretty good job on.
But that's purely just because it's such an icon that he had a lot to work with.
Yeah, he sort of had the heavy lifting done for him, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Graham. You were talking about Graham before we got here. You got a point to make about him, don't you?
So, Bradley Walsh is a decent actor. We've even said he's very good, but I made a realization. He's a solid actor, but he's a little wooden at times. What makes Graham so likable is the fact that Bradley Walsh is a charismatic man. And so he sort of elevates the scenes, even though he's not giving a necessarily incredibly nuanced performance. And so that's why Graham... Also because Graham has the most motivation out of any of these characters in this series. The most driving force. So in a lot of scenes, he just kind of has the most sort of self-reflexive attitude and the most kind of interesting things to do. But... yeah, the reason why he sticks out is because Bradley Walsh is so likable. And I realised Chibnall doesn't do good dialogue.
No. And he never has either.
It's very wonky.
His Torchwood stuff, even his Doctor Who stuff before his show run,
yeah,
all the dialogue is wonky.
It's very wonky is a nice way of putting it. Like a lot of it's very just sort of staccato and just like I'm just saying what I feel. And you remember when we did this and that? The exposition is very unnatural in all of his writing. Yeah. He doesn't know how to naturally bring information through without it just being stated.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like... And it also feels weirdly childlike. A lot of the dialogue...
almost patronising sometimes.
Yes. Like it felt kissy line. Just, that was something straight out of like a pantomime that was... I didn't buy it. Like no. It just, and it's no fault of the actors, but unless you're someone like Alan Cummings or Bradley Walsh,
I always have.
Unless you're someone like Bradley Walsh or Alan Cummings, where you're incredibly charismatic, you're gonna suffer with this dialogue. No actor comes out of it unscathed. They look wooden because the dialogue is stilted, and it's really frustrating because all these actors are very good actors. It's just that they are being held down by Chibnall's weird dialogue.
Yeah. Graham was like pretty much what you said. Charismatic because it's Bradley Walsh, but he really didn't do anything. No. I mean, I guess he had a small rant at Ryan's dad.
And that scene was lovely. But, again, it wasn't particularly nuanced.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, the way Chibnall writes Graham is he's trying to make him be this sort of like, I'm going to be like, come on, mate.
Yeah.
And every scene with him feels the same. So there's no actual...
Yeah, so even Graham, like, who was our favourite thing of Series 11, he's starting to wear thin now as well. Because it's just the same thing over and over again.
Well, because if you look back, like, at episodes like Kablam and the Saranga Conundrum, he's actually not very good.
No.
He's just entertaining because it's Bradley Walsh.
Yeah, because I think of him on that episode of The Chase where he started cracking up at the answers and stuff like that. You know, it's just...
He's got better dialogue on The Chase.
Yeah. Bernard Cribbins, he is not.
No.
But no one is.
Well, but Bernard Cribbins was given fantastic material, though.
That's true. But he's also a great actor. And he's very funny.
Yeah.
Like, if you see him in interviews outside
I mean, if you go watch our 5 Great and 5 Garbage Companions, Wilfred's on mine. So there you go. Graham is not.
It's all just very passable stuff. None of it's going to stand out in the long run of the show. Because a lot of people latch on to what immediately is in front of them in the show. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're just accepting what they're given. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But they would still remember Matt Smith incredibly fondly. And David Tennant incredibly fondly. But going forward, I struggle to see this era be remembered incredibly fondly. They'll just be like, oh yeah, I had fun with it at the time. But I just, even with these hyper fans, I can't see them constantly going back to it and constantly quoting it.
I mean, I was listening to a podcast recently, and this girl said that this is her favourite series of New Who.
How long will that last? But I don't mean that. I don't mean that in like in a patronising way. I'm genuinely curious if that will remain the case, because it's just something that outside of those hyper fans, I haven't seen anyone be enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
Everyone just seems like...
Isn't it like Rotten Tomatoes? It's like 24% audience
now,
score now?
Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score, I'm like iffy on, because anyone can
That's true, because anyone can just give it a half star.
And they could do it anonymously and just make it...
And it's the same thing with the other site. Anyone could give it a 5-star.
Exactly.
And it's like, you do it just so you can adjust the rating up and down.
And the difference is, because a lot of people with Rotten Tomatoes are like, oh, the Rotten Tomatoes critics, they don't seem to understand it's an aggregator. It grabs from Rolling Stone, it grabs from New York Times, it just grabs movie reviews from all around the web and makes an aggregator of their results. They're not Rotten Tomatoes critics.
Yeah.
They are critics who Rotten Tomatoes cites.
I even though it's technically speaking it's hardcore fans, I feel like the only real indicator is when we get to DWM.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, Dave the Doctor is number 1 on DWM, so of course that is because there's casual fans.
And that's important, because you want to hear as many opinions as you can to get an idea of where...
Because if you did a survey of hardcore classic Who fans, Dave the Doctor would not be number 1.
No.
Highly unlikely.
Yeah. And Saranga Conundrum, for example, on DWM, I think it was had the lowest...
Saranga Conundrum?
Because I think it was in DWM, where they would do polls for what people's general opinion was of an episode that had just come out.
Oh, right.
And it was one of the lowest overnight ranked ones by people who submitted.
Yeah.
Again, don't know who submitted, all on sundry, or maybe like 4 dudes.
Yeah. Well,
who knows?
We won't know for sure until... I'm pretty sure it's this year, because it's been 5 years since the last one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's this year the next one's going to come out.
Yeah. So, but that's not the overall poll. That's just from a specific poll that they did immediately after it came out.
Yeah.
And the fact that the level of it was apathetic to very bad.
Yeah.
And granted, that is the worst of Series 11. There's some good stuff in there. It's just, in the general zeitgeist, other than like hyperfans on Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr and those kinds of circles, I haven't seen any enthusiasm for this series. I've just seen people like to like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much.
Those are the general reactions I find.
Yeah, and you get a whole bunch of negative as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some positive.
But it's a lot of it's kind of like on a scale of 1 to 10, sort of around 6 to about 3. Like 3 to 6 is kind of the...
That's sort of the what is it, median or mean? Median?
Oh.
Median, I think.
I can't remember.
Oh, maths. Been a while.
It's been a while, since I've done that.
Yasmin.
I think median is the right one.
No, she didn't happen. No, she really, like, what is there to say about Yasmin? She did nothing.
Oh, no, yeah, no.
No.
Well, hopefully Series 12, now that Ryan's stuff's ended, we get more focus on Yaz.
You'd hope so.
I wanted Ryan to bite the bullet in this episode.
Yeah.
His story with his grandfather was done. It would have been something to make this episode have some grit to it.
And also would have given the Daleks something to...
Given the Daleks some power, given the story some grit, and would have given the Dr. Yaz and Graham something to go on going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, and would have given the Dalek some menace and... Yeah.
It's just... Yeah, it's... needs more.
Yes. Aaron, who was, I believe, Ryan's father.
Fine. With a couple good stuff, good scenes, good moments, some good stuff in there. But mainly held down by Chibnall's...
Yeah, he's sort of like another Chibnall character.
Yeah. which are very...
How the fuck did Chibnall write Brian Williams? Well, I guess he's just kind of Graham, but a different actor.
Yeah, and oh shit, I can't remember his name, but the actor who plays Ryan Williams. Oh god, what's his name?
I think it's Mark Williams.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure it's Mark Williams
Yeah,
who
yes,
plays Brian
yes.
Williams.
That sounds right. He's wonderful. So he's one of those people who's immensely charismatic. So even if he's given once wonky dialogue, he can still.
Yeah.
Plus, it's kind of unfair because he was kind of burnt into our nostalgia as Weasley.
Correct.
So, and it's just like, hey, he's Weasley again, basically. But he does it so well.
We have a very different point of view, Mr. Malfoy.
Oh man, I wanna.
What disgraces the meaning of wizard? I'll see you at work.
Oh man, Lucius is not the best, but he's one of my favourite Harry Potter characters.
Oh yeah.
I love Lucius so much. Jason Isaacs is amazing. I want him as the master. He's great. Give me more Jason Isaacs.
Yeah. Ryan's dad was, like you said, a Chibnall character.
He was fine.
Used well in the story, but
but
should have died.
Should have.
I don't like how the Doctor just suddenly forgave him for no reason.
That was a complete
180.
Especially because she came out the gate so harsh, which felt little incongruous with the way we've been presented 13 being so gentle.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
but there was some justification. So I was like, it was wonky, but I'll accept it.
But then again, we have been. I mean, I guess it takes you away. She sort of had a similar attitude to the father from that one as well. Not as hard in that. I think she was more harsh in this one because she's got a personal connection with Ryan. So I don't know. I guess it's consistent, but it doesn't make.
No.
The fact that she forgave him so willingly was weird.
It felt off.
Yeah.
You want to come for a trip? It's like... Reminded me... Now, the character's nowhere near as bad, but it reminded me of Adam Mitchell. Where the Doctor...
No, because he was reluctant. He didn't want to bring him, but he's just like, oh, he's your boyfriend, whatever.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying, is that's what should have happened. But when the Doctor put his foot down against Adam, it was understandable. With this guy, I see what you mean. And suddenly being because invited.
Adam actually had fucked up. He stole the TARDIS key, so of course he's going to be really mad at him.
And also, fuck Adam Mitchell.
Yeah.
Fuck Adam Mitchell.
So the Doctor went into it giving him a chance, and he fucked up, so he punished him for it. Whereas this was the opposite. She went into it knowing that he hadn't been there for Ryan, so she was angry at him. And then because he was a victim of a Dalek, she forgave him?
Maybe, but also because he bought a microwave.
Oh, you helped out with our strategy. That means you're not a bad dad anymore. Not really.
And I struggle to believe that anyone who has a strange relationship with any of their parents,
Ryan suddenly just was
I doubt it's that easy to just forgive something like being abandoned, Yeah,
it's a bit...
Absentee.
Especially because he didn't really... the microwave, I guess, but he didn't really do anything.
No.
If it would make more sense if Ryan was the one that the Dalek latched onto and his dad saved him.
Yes.
That would make sense why Ryan would forgive him.
Yeah.
But... that's not what happened.
No. And it would have been much more shocking when the Dalek, when Jodie was given her stupid dialogue after she defeated the Dalek, and she's like, wasn't bad, whatever the fuck she said, it was a good slide, or whatever stupid...
It was clearly not a slide, she was clearly pushed.
Whatever stupid Chibnall dialogue it was, it would have been much more effective if when the Dalek was laughing and it stood up, it was Ryan.
Yeah.
That scene was effective in sorts. I hated the dialogue coming just before it so much that I was like, ugh. But...
What if the Dalek took over Ryan and Ryan exterminated his dad?
That would have been cool. Or Graham.
Oh, no, we can't get rid of Bradley Walsh, though.
Too many people in the TARDIS. How many people were there facing off with the Dalek? So there was the Dalek, then there was the Doctor, Graham, Ryan, Yaz,
Aaron,
and then the other two.
Yeah.
So what, 7? No.
7.
Yeah, 7.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like just generic faceless army people. They
Speaking
were all...
of those people,
Yes.
Lynn and Mitch. So at the very beginning of the story, they had a very generic love. Oh, will they, won't they? And then she gets taken over by a Dalek and everything gets better because...
She immediately becomes way more interesting as soon as
Yeah.
she's possessed by the Dalek. She's the best actress in this episode.
Yes.
She's very good.
Yeah.
Again, she suffers from some of that wonky dialogue. None of that's her fault. But her expressions and her like body language and stuff, she's the one who kind of breaks through the Chibnall script the most.
Yeah. But the stuff at the start...
Nah. It was, again, as you said, very generic.
It was like a very, very, very average version of that one from the Parting of the Ways. You know those two people on Satellite 5?
Yeah.
Like that was that was very small scenes that they were in. They were sprinkled throughout the story.
But that's just because Russell's a good writer.
Yeah, and like you actually got to like by the time that she was like, "Oh, I want to go for a drink," tough, you know. By that time, you actually got invested in them, and then they all died.
Yeah. It's...
Whereas this was sort of doing the same thing.
It was that thing of Chibnall doesn't know how... Like, this was definitely more naturalistic than some of Chibnall's other exposition.
Yeah.
It felt more like a natural conversation, but even so, that is by Chibnall standards.
Yeah, I think one of the problems is that he's used to writing these dramas as if they're going to be in a long-term story.
Yeah.
Whereas they're not, so you have to do it more compact.
Yeah.
You have to get the message across sharper and
it
faster.
Sounds so childish. Like the kissy line was... Like, I mean, that's not just Chibnall. That shit was in Moffat's era as well. But like,
yeah.
It felt particularly bad, especially because because the visual aesthetic of the show does not match that attitude.
At least it was provocative in the Moffat era, which is interesting.
Yeah, there was something.
Was it fucking dinosaurs in a? Well, that's Chibnall, but dinosaurs in a spaceship when Nefertiti was the very first shot of the episode. She's like trying to get it on with Matt Smith. Oh. I'm not looking forward to reviewing that one. I hate that episode so
when
much.
Jake returns eventually.
I absolutely despise dinosaurs in a spaceship. It's a rancid pile of garbage. Yeah, but you're right. Lynn was the best part, well, at best, like human actor in this episode.
By far.
And Mitch was forgettable.
Yeah. He was inoffensive, but completely forgettable.
Oh, you know the scene where they split off with the phones?
Yeah.
There's like this, I think it's an ad, I think it might be for KFC or something, where there's like two people, I think they're guys, and they're like, I'll race you to KFC, and they go, it's separate ways.
Yes,
it
yes,
reminded
yeah.
me of that ad.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, I remember
Weird
that.
reference.
I auditioned for that ad, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Fun fact about me.
Yeah.
I auditioned for, I think I've auditioned for 3 KFC ads. Don't know why they keep bringing me back, but who knows?
Was I in an ad? I know I've been in Power Rangers.
Hey.
But was I in an ad?
Everyone's been in Power Rangers.
Yeah. I think when I was a 2-year-old or 3-year-old or something like that, I was supposed to be in a pumpkin patch ad.
Ah.
But then I looked at the... This is going to sound horrible, but I looked at the Chinese men sat across the room and I didn't like them because I was 2 years old. So I was like, Mummy, I don't like those men. And I walked away. Oh. It's sad that some people are like that when
they've actually developed a brain.
Yeah. Supposedly.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oof. Anyway, let's quickly change subject.
Yeah, quickly gear shift.
The Dalek.
Oh, the best part of the episode.
Yeah.
I mean...
It was.
I've seen a lot of people have a lot of high praise for this Dalek.
So here's my take on it. I think... So forget the stupid Chibnall generic tone, but actually focus on the way it's written. From... so obviously the sort of bit at the very beginning, the sort of prologue to it, it's nonsensical, but let's just say that, for argument's sake, that splitting the Dalek up actually does make sense.
Yeah.
So from that point all the way up to when it's fully formed and blowing up people and it gets into that base that they're in, it's pretty much flawless, written-wise. Not necessarily executed, but the way that it takes over this woman and then builds its own thing.
The way the plot of the Dalek progresses.
Even if it doesn't make logical sense sometimes.
As bullet points on a piece of paper of saying this is where the Dalek is going to go, it is very well structured.
The progressiveness of it and how devious it is really good. But then when you get to the whole I guess technically the microwave thing makes sense scientifically, but it's just not.
I don't know why. In my head, I've always had it that if someone was touching a Dalek's firing arm whilst it was firing, that there would be a shock, they'd be exterminated.
Yeah, but classic Who.
I know, but even during New Who, no one ever went near the thing. So for me, my brain's now, it's been... I guess it could be retconned as junkyard Dalek.
Well, yes, but just remember, I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but I'm sure I heard in the dialogue that this is not a Time War Dalek.
No, this was... Well, this is what... Well, it's from prehistoric times, and I'm pretty sure the implication
is... It's like a Dalek fossil.
It's from way back when, possibly even maybe around the Renegade Daleks and stuff. Whatever it is, it's before the Time War.
Yeah, well, it's one of the first ones that left Skaro. Yeah. So, there you go.
And I like the parallels they tried to make with it in the Doctor. Very few of them.
I mean, technically speaking, it could be from before the Dalek invasion of Earth.
We don't know the timeline, but it's very possible.
Yeah.
I just wish we got to see... I know it was made of parts of what its old uniform was, but in its full glory when it originally landed... that would have been cool just to see what that design was.
Because that painting they did of it.
Yeah,
I would have liked to seen those actual scenes.
Yeah,
cut out the Ryan Dad bullshit and just show this. Make it like a 1 hour Dalek story.
You know what I would have loved is kind of like not Live the Land, Under the Lake and Before the Flood, where the 2 episodes are kind of in separate environments, but they do have connections timeline wise.
Yeah, if
you do that, where it's a story that's set when the Dalek first arrived and when it gets resurrected, and the Doctor travels in time back and forth between these 2 battles. And I don't know, just something interesting with that.
That reminds me of Day of the Daleks. The Pertwee story?
Yeah.
That exact thing happens.
Yeah. I don't know, I completely get the high praise that this version of the Dalek has.
The way the Dalek was written as a character was really good. That's where it gets the high praise from. It's just the nitty gritty bits on the end are just a bit. Yeah, because the way it basically from Microwave onwards, it turned into any other villain.
Yeah,
but it was definitely for it when it was.
I liked seeing it do something other than just walk around exterminating people.
When it was. From the start of the episode all the way up to that point, it was very entertaining.
Yes,
to watch this, especially like you said with Lynn's performance.
Yeah,
the fact that that whole scene was even great as well. I was like,
I would have loved. Right, I know that they got rid of Unit, but just say for the sake of argument that it's Unit, something that deals with aliens. If the archaeological dig was knowing that there's possibly aliens and she was part of say just for the sake of argument, she was part of Unit. Then she got possessed and infiltrated Unit and went to somewhere like the Black Archives and got weapons and got
that sounds
different...
like a 7-part John Pertwee story.
Yes, fine. Again, cut out the dead.
Just like Inferno, but with a secret Dalek in it.
Yes, infiltrate. Give me just because it was a good concept, but it was just, to me, it was just so base level, where I was just like, you have this great thing of the Dalek possessing a human being. Do something with it. She did break in and, kill that guard and whatnot, but probably infiltrate, a Dalek trying to be human.
Yeah.
To get into somewhere, because it's a reconnaissance Dalek, it's a spy.
Yeah.
So trying to be behind enemy lines.
I mean, in Power of the Daleks, when the Dalek is first there, it's basically acting like an Ood.
Yeah.
At the base, it's like the sort of, It's like the would you like some tea stuff without the comedy.
Yeah.
Although it's sort of there, but it's more. It's like
More
there's
plays for
actually
shock,
something going under the surface, and of course because of the direction and the soundtrack, it's oh man, Power of the Daleks is awesome.
It is, yeah.
But you know, the Dalek was very devious. It's just I wish the story around it was better.
Absolutely.
But it was so like basically anything where it was going around killing things was awesome. It was just cool to watch. You know, like when it blew up the tank, like when the bullets went like that, and then it went.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely a highlight, but.
Are we just about done talking about the Dalek?
Yeah, I think so. I think good story, treated with respect, which was good.
Yeah, it was the best that the Daleks have been written since the RTD era, but it was still
since Day of the Doctor.
The Daleks didn't really do anything in that
I know,
story.
but they still were like they were this kind of cloud of they weren't. It wasn't a Dalek story, but I just think in terms of the way they were presented.
It's funny because I like that story more than you do, but
Yeah.
I can't agree with that. I don't think the Daleks did. They didn't do fuck all in that story.
No, but the fact that it was in the midst of the Time War where they were this big threat, it's because of the implication. To quote, "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia." It's because of the implication.
Yeah, but
That's another topic.
they weren't the. All right, whatever.
No, I know. The main antagonist was Zygons?
Not really,
No.
because they were another side plot. They weren't even really antagonists. The only time they got focus is when they were a joke,
Yeah.
which it was a really good joke, and that's why it gets away with it. Because Day of the Doctor is hilarious.
It's one of Moffat's funniest scripts.
It's so funny,
Yeah.
but there wasn't really a villain in
No.
that story.
No, it should have been a Megan.
It's kind of like it's kind of like the Five Doctors. How it's got like it's kind of like the Five Doctors. How like it's got the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master in it, but they're not really.
Well, the Master's his ally in the Five Doctors.
Fair enough. But Daleks and Cybermen are in it,
Yeah.
but they're not really the villain.
No, they're just a threat that's
Yeah.
there. But my point isn't that they were the main villain. My point is the way they were presented.
No,
And the fact that
no,
it's a
I think the Daleks' deviousness in this was enough for me to think it's better than that. Because the Daleks didn't do anything.
the best. No, I do think that Resolution is a better representation of the Daleks. But what I'm saying is not. I think in the years past, the best representation of the Daleks we've had is when they didn't say anything, they didn't do anything, but they were there as this world-ending, universe-ending potential threat.
Okay, my argument against that would be that they're not really the Daleks; they're a painting of the Daleks.
But they're still there, and it's still a good painting of the Daleks.
Yeah, I know, but it's not really the.
But my point is that I mean it's certainly better than shit like the Magician's Apprentice.
You know, this very beginning of Father's Day, before they get involved in the plot.
Yeah,
You know when they're watching Pete getting run over.
yeah.
That is what the Daleks are like. In
It's
Day
still
of
a
the
shocking
Doctor.
moment seeing Pete get run over.
Yeah, but that's Father's Day. So the Daleks in Day of the Doctor are like that. You're watching them in history, but they're not actually part of the story.
I know, but my point is, are they being made?
No!
Are they being made a joke of in Day of the Doctor?
Yes,
How?
because wait, what happened? They are not really a joke, but like the John Hurt just bashes them.
Because he's the War Doctor. That's the point of his character.
Yeah. But, no, this is the best Dalek story since Journey's End. End of.
Best Dalek story? Yes. Best representation of the Daleks since Journey's End? Disagree.
Why? What was so wrong about this one, though?
No, I'm not saying this one was bad. I'm saying this one was very good. I'm saying it was a very good representation of the Daleks. What I am saying is that it is not the best one since Journey's End. It's the best one since Day of the Doctor. I'm not saying that to affect the quality of this one. I'm purely saying that the Daleks in Day of the Doctor were represented better than other times they had during the Moffat era. And I think
What
that's
about Time of the Doctor?
Oh, fuck that. No.
You have expended all your lives. Sorry, did anyone mention the rules? What did you think of the plot? Oh no, hang on. The side characters. So you had the farmer and you had the... Was this like the pregnant man and the guy from the crane? It was like that. I suppose so. Chibnall fodder.
I suppose we're gonna have to have a conversation.
Ah! Yeah! I forgot about them! No! What?
It's...
It was so out of nowhere as well.
and then like
You know,
there was the gay security guard as well, and
You
it
know
was
what
like,
they should have done? Instead of having that scene here, use that family in the Battle of Ranskorev Kolos when they're trying to destroy the Earth, and have them in like an earthquake. And it's serious.
Oh no, an earthquake! What are we gonna do? I don't know. Suppose we're gonna have to die.
What?
I hate Chibnall side characters. I hate them so much.
Except for King James and Rosa.
But they were basically stand-in companions.
Okay.
And also, not Chibnall. Mallory Blackman. I know Chibnall I know Chibnall co-wrote that, but
not really.
you're telling, like, I would strongly believe that Mallory Blackman was handling Rosa in Rosa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad side characters.
The plot of Resolution.
Messy, functional, kind of boring, but harmless.
So it works in some places and it doesn't work in others.
Exactly. Like I said at the beginning, there's lots I like and lots I dislike. Yeah. But in the whole, it's just
Bit
a
of
very...
a mixed bag.
It's just messy. It's like you get a really, really nice Subway, but it's like kind of soggy.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it still tastes alright, but the texture's really gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best comparison I can make. It's usually food. Comparisons to food.
Russell T Davies would be happy with that. He loves food.
Mm.
Not just because he's fat, but he actually likes to write about food.
Tastes like chicken.
And that's why he has the chicken scene in End of Time, right?
So hungry. I'm sorry, that probably sounds really gross in this higher quality microphone.
Yes. So so you read this before.
You can tell them.
The writer, less of a cunt this time, Chris Chibnall. So like he got the progressive, like I said, he got the progressiveness, deviousness, and just
there was a forward momentum,
general momentum of the Dalek stuff, right? But basically everything else was like
give or take,
like the rest of series 11.
Yeah, whereas like the mixed
maybe
bag.
Like slightly better than some of the other stuff.
Yeah. It was a mixed bag to okay.
Yeah. It was kind of like how it was in like his sort of less bad ones, like Woman Who Fell to Earth and Ghost Monument.
Yeah,
it
reminded me more of the Ghost Monument because I think that's a slightly bit. I can't remember where I ranked it, but I'm pretty sure I ranked it.
No, you didn't rank it above Woman Who Fell to Earth. But the thing is, like, Woman Who Fell to Earth is more dull, but it's a better episode.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Because Ghost Monument's just really, really tacky.
Yeah, it is. It's bleh.
But yeah, no, so basically everything except for that Dalek plot was like it was in those episodes.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly less dull.
It was a little bit more focused, it felt, than...
I definitely think there was more focus put into this. It just, the flavour wasn't there.
No. It was, Again...
I'm sure...
Chibnall is
I feel like he did actually put in a solid effort. It's just, it wasn't that
I think he's put in a solid effort for most of the series. It just feels like... It just feels like... I don't mean the result being good, but in terms of him not phoning it in as a writer...
Apart from, like, a couple of episodes.
But even then, kind of feel like that was him trying to be good.
Maybe.
But in this case, he just
Yeah.
hit it out of the park.
Well,
Not hit it out of the park, but
well, I
just
mean,
hit it a bit
my
better.
most hated Chibnall episode is Dinosaurs in a Spaceship, and it's very clear he's trying to be good in that one.
Yeah.
He's trying very hard to be good. It's just a pile of shit.
He just bores me as a writer. And there are bigger sins you can do as a writer of Doctor Who, but I think as a showrunner, one of the biggest
Is to be boring.
is to make the show as a whole dull.
Yeah.
One of the most creative shows in the world,
Yeah.
dull.
Yeah.
He bores me, and I want him gone. And I don't say that lightly, because I don't like being mean to writers, but like, unless he brings something new and very innovative to Series 12, I just want him out of there.
The director, Wayne Yip. So we finally got a director who's actually returning, not a new one.
Yeah.
He directed The Lie of the Land, Empress of Mars, and 2 episodes of Class. So he is actually relatively new in the last few years. It was very functional, and it looked like, in terms of just being able to... There was none of that stupid...
No, it was very slick.
Yeah.
There was a couple editing things, not in terms of like structural editing, but like font.
Oh, that's not his fault, though.
No.
Like I said, the post...
Would he have been in the editing bay? And would he?
I don't know. I don't know.
For television, I imagine he would have been.
Maybe. Font is a very... It's not something that a director would obsess over, I don't think.
They should.
They should, but...
That's something that...
I do feel like the post-production team for the Chibnall era is very inconsistent.
It feels like a bunch of very capable interns.
Yeah. I think the problem is the actual special effects are great. It's just the editing itself.
Yeah. And like, yeah, it just feels clunky.
Yeah.
But the direction was fine.
It was fine, yeah. I think it was more interesting in Lie of the Land and Empress of Mars, though.
Yes.
Even though I'm not...
But those were more interesting stories.
Even though I like them less than this one, they're more interesting, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think Lie of the Land's are pretty bad.
It's bad, and then Empress of Mars is just a Mark Gatiss.
But I'd be lying if I said it didn't have an interesting premise.
Yeah, no, it did, because
Yeah.
it was a 3-parter about a really interesting story. It just turned to shit right at the end.
Yeah, but to
And
begin
the
with,
Doctor
in Lie of the Land, there was some interesting stuff, like
Yeah,
how they
and then-
integrated. Yeah, but anyway, we'll get to that. We'll
fake
get to that.
regeneration there. And then Empress of Mars is just a Mark Gatiss Ice Warriors story.
Which is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's just what it is.
Oh, and is it Alpha Centauri who shows up at the
Yeah,
end?
what the hell?
Same actress as well.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was fun.
It's like in Return of the Jedi in the special edition, how they brought back the same actress to be eaten by the Rancor.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same one, and she hasn't aged a day.
Yeah.
But then, fuck, that special edition's got that horrible remix of that song they play in the...
And it's-
The original's better.
Imagine
So you replace
how upset you'd be if they remastered the Russell T Davies era and redid all the special effects but added shit like that to make it better.
No. No, I want Rose to look bad. It's how I remember it. That episode needs to have the stupid rubbish bin in the pool of whatever that the nesting consciousness is. It needs to look like that. Otherwise it's not.
Also, am I imagining things slightly off topic? In Attack of the Clones, in Jar Jar Binks' scene when he sees him, and at the end of the scene, Jar Jar Binks is like, "Oh, it's very bad times," or whatever he says. He looks at the camera. I swear to God, as he's leaving the room, he goes,
He also gives executive emergency powers to Palpatine.
"Basically, like the Empire." Oh no, it's a dodo. Imagine Jar Jar Binks is the Doctor.
Oh.
Fun.
Well, it would just be Matt Smith and Jodie Whittaker at the absolute worst morphed into one.
How's the Highland farm? It just reminds me of the video. There's like a 6-second video online. I think it's like in maybe India. There's a man on a rooftop who's got a piece of fruit and he's offering it to a monkey that's on another rooftop. The monkey leans over his rooftop to grab the fruit. The guy accidentally, he tries to drop it on the monkey's hand and the monkey doesn't catch it. The monkey looks up at him and screams and goes, and jumps at him, and then the video ends. It's much funnier than it sounds, but it's, yeah. I don't know, monkeys are funny.
Monkey Madness is my favourite RuneScape quest.
Yeah.
Lots of poison and gorillas and there's that really hard puzzle. But you can pay the guy to do it for you. Anyway, music by Segan Akinola. I didn't really notice it, to be honest.
It was okay, but in my head I was just like, dun, dun, dun,
it needed the Murray Gold.
And when it was being rebuilt and came out again, in my head, I didn't like in my
Someone
head.
needs to do a rescore of that scene.
It was like
this episode in particular was screaming for Murray Gold.
Like I don't have a problem with Sagan's new score at all.
It works really well in the historicals,
and it worked well in this episode. It's just because it's the Dalek theme is so burnt into my brain.
Yeah.
I was like, this is
weird.
weird.
And even like in Classic Who, when you've got like the Tristan Carey Dalek theme, which is a completely different theme, but that theme as well fits those Daleks too.
Yeah, it's like when like the Cybermen, like there's distinct.
Yeah, there's like the 60s one, and then there's also March of the Cybermen in the 80s, and then there's the Murray Gold one
and
too.
I like the Tomb of the Cybermen stuff when they're coming out of the tomb. That music is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, that's unsettling. That's weird. Like.
Yeah, but then even like with the New Who Cybermen, yeah, he was alright.
No, he was good. He was very, very good. It's just
the Daleks demand bombast.
Yeah, especially when he comes out and he's rebuilt the suit. It's like, oh shit, he's full, he's complete. Oh damn, that's not good.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about the music?
No, it was good. It was effective. I just didn't jump out at me particularly.
Yeah. The viewership. Have you heard anything about this?
Yep, I have.
Right. So the viewership for Resolution was 5.15 million overnight.
Yeah.
This is the lowest viewed special ever. This is also the lowest viewed episode since World Enough in Time. Now,
two things. It being the lowest...
This is also lower than any episode from the Russell T Davies era.
Yeah. Now.
And a lot of the Moffat era.
The only thing that's not making me go doomsaying from this is it was a New Year's special.
As opposed to a Christmas special, yeah.
People were hungover or people were out.
Yeah.
A lot of people were not at home watching TV on New Year's.
Yeah.
I know it didn't air like at midnight, but still even then people were distracted. People had New Year's on their mind. It's not a great time to put a big event TV show in because no one's going to watch it.
Because basically Series 10, Series 10 got fuck all viewership.
Yeah.
And Twice Upon a Time did pretty well on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Then again, it is a new female Doctor. But even like Return of Dr. Mysterio and Husband's River Song did pretty well as well.
Yeah, people like, oh, Doctor Who's on Christmas. Let's click it on. And even people who are like, it's the most like casual viewers, but they're like, oh yeah, I haven't seen Doctor Who in a while. It might be fun. Let's just flick it on for Christmas.
Yeah.
And now Chibnall's taking that away.
Yeah. But then again, I would have rather had this than a Christmas Dalek story. Feast of Stephen. Although, to be fair, the Daleks don't even appear once in that.
No, yeah, I wouldn't want a Chibnall Christmas special.
It would just be... Christmas needs bombast.
It needs to be silly, but not patronising.
Like, the Christmas invasion is silly, but not patronising. Like, with the whole... Like, the scene where the tree comes to life.
The Runaway Bride, I think, is like the perfect Christmas special.
Mm. Maybe not the perfect episode, but as a Christmas special, yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Oh man, I miss Russell Zero so much.
Yeah. But yeah, this is despite that, this was very, very lowly viewed.
It is a little worrying, but again, it is a New Year special. It is an awkward time slot, and
we are still a long way off Eaters of Light territory.
Yes, and that's the thing, is it's not, these figures aren't going to make the BBC go, ooh, no.
Because it's still only still like 3 or 4 million less than Woman Who Fell to Earth overnight.
And again, it's an isolated special, and it's not something that's worrying me necessarily. It's disappointing, but then again, I can completely see why people would be tuned out.
Yeah.
But as a fan of the show who wants to see it continue, it's
the more worrying one was the finale.
Yes,
because they got the worst viewership of Series 11 before this one.
Yeah, and that is an incline. But again, we'll have to wait and see when Series 12 rolls around to see what the figures are for that. If we can really start saying all that now, we start getting worried. Because if it goes back down to 2 and 1.
Yeah.
Then that's a worry.
I've got a strange feeling The Woman Who Fell to Earth is probably going to end up being Jodie's most viewed episode.
Well, because it was a big deal and Chibnall kind of fucked it.
Yeah, there's not really much he can do to even bring it back to that now.
No one's going to be that excited.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll be a few people online, yeah. But I mean, in the general zeitgeist, like, Doctor Who was the main spread. We have a sort of a almost weekly or fortnightly entertainment magazine that comes in our newspapers called Time Out, and Doctor Who usually is like, oh yeah, Doctor Who's coming back, like in a small, like, 1-paragraph article. Woman Who Fell to Earth, Jodie was on the front page, and this was the same week as shit like Creed was coming out, which is not a huge blockbuster, but still a big deal, big franchise, Sylvester Stallone, Michael B. Jordan, and she was the one who was chosen to be on the front. It was a big deal. And now that big deal is gone, there's going to be way less people invested.
It's just like how, because Doomsday came out the same week as the FIFA World Cup final.
Yeah.
But Doomsday got the coverage.
Yeah. That's the thing. I
think there's like this iconic magazine cover of, it's a football field with Daleks and Cybermen on it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of when I went to it was basically Doctor Who at the Proms, but they did it at Victor Arena.
Yeah,
that was so cool because Peter Davison hosted it, and he called Colin Baker at one point, and I can't remember what he said, but basically mocking him, said, "Ha, I'm here in New Zealand and you're not." My run
and he's
was
like, "Oh, yesterday you said you were in Melbourne. The day before you said you were in Sydney."
Yeah, and obviously made reference to his son-in-law and daughter, but the fact that, like, there was people in Cybermen costumes, like proper BBC Cybermen costumes, and Daleks and Silurians.
They had to get that out of the bloody Doctor Who experience because they don't have many of them.
And like, they played a full Philharmonic Orchestra played Martha's theme. I was like, this is peak. I've peaked here for live concerts. Yeah, nothing's ever going to get me that.
When did you go to that?
It was probably 2015.
Oh, okay. Was it before Series 9 or after?
Before.
Oh, damn.
I may not have gone after Series 9.
Well, the thing is, I was going to say that, but then they actually would have played Shepherd's Boy.
No, but it was just after. No, there'd only been Series 8 at that point.
I'm so sad that, like, because obviously they're bringing out the Series 11 soundtrack, but I'm still waiting for the Series 10 soundtrack.
Yeah, what the fuck? Series 11 is going to be released before Series 10.
Yeah, it's because it's Murray Gold. That's why. Because Sega Nakanola is, like, organised.
Yeah. Also, I can't remember if this comment was on one of our videos or on a different one where they were wondering what we'd like to see Murray Gold do next. Maybe it was on the live stream.
Yeah.
I want Marvel or DC to hire him.
Yeah.
Or one of those big franchise, Star Wars.
What if he, like, no one knows it yet because it's been a secret. What if he is the composer of Endgame?
When Thanos comes out. Bwah, 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 bwah. Oh man, that'd be cool. Da-da-dun, 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 da-da-bum, bum. I remember when Mr. TARDIS Reviews reviewed The Avengers, and He said he wasn't too fond of the music, and me, however old I was when I came out, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's great! But I get what he was saying in terms of the theme's great, but the music, other than that, it's like, whatever. But the Avengers theme is great. Gets me hype. Anyway.
Mr. TARDIS says the Big Bang's 10 out of 10, so he's wrong. Anyway.
No.
Your conclusion and rating out of 10 for Resolution.
Good. Never going to watch it again. Messy. Kind of boring at points. Some good ideas. Terrible font. Annoying moments, but some good moments sprinkled in. 6 out of 10. Fine.
I would probably say the same, except I probably will at some point rewatch like the highlights, because I did like the Dalek stuff. That was really, like, it was very schlock, but it was really good schlock.
No, it was. It's just that the package as a whole, I just can't give it a great score just because I enjoyed the Dalek stuff.
But I did actually, apart from all the bloody, when they stopped the plot to do the Ryan's dad stuff, I actually did quite enjoy the episode when I watched it. So I'll give it a 7.
7, alright.
Yeah. Because I gave... basically because I gave Woman Who Fell to Earth a 7, and this was better than that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, I got a nude inside me.
That is fucked up, that scene.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
Planet of the Ood is underrated. It's kind of
similar to Daleks in Manhattan. It's like a Colin Baker story.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
God damn. I would have loved to see Colin Baker in Planet of the Ood.
Yeah, and Daleks in Manhattan.
Him and Perry.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I would have loved to see Colin Baker in Love and Monsters. Colin Baker and the Absorbaloff. Seeing him tear the shit out of the Absorbaloff. Imagine that.
Big Finish should get
I rewatched Love and Monsters the other night. I absolutely love it. I absolutely...
You bloody hipster.
It's so fun. It's ridiculous, but it's so fun. It's just... Oh, it's better than anything from Series 11 in my opinion.
Oh, no, I'd agree with that, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Love and Monsters than...
Yeah.
Even, because the frustrating thing is, even the good stories in Series 11, they're part of Series 11, so they're so unrewatchable and so dull, regardless of how important or interesting they are.
I enjoy Love and Monsters from frame 1 to frame end. It's so fun. Ridiculous, but...
Ridiculous.
But it's just like all the small details Russell sprinkled into that story, like Victor Kennedy's desk with all the stuff on it. It's just yeah. I haven't written anything after that, so I guess that's all for Series 11.
Thank God it's over.
Where would Resolution rank in terms, like, we were doing the recap, where would it rank for you?
Probably 3.
So after Rosa and
Demons of the Punjab.
Okay.
Or was it Witchfinders?
I think you had It Takes You Away pretty high as well.
Yeah, it's sort of around Witchfinders It Takes You Away for different reasons, but around that kind of.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's hard to compare because there's such different episodes, but for me it's around It Takes You Away as well. 7.
Yeah.
Above Woman Who Fell to Earth, because Woman Who Fell to Earth is a low 7 because it's a good episode, but it's just so boring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas this one's sort of a decent episode, but it's actually more watchable than Woman Who Fell to Earth. Probably my favourite Chibnall episode apart from Rosa, which he co-wrote, but that's not really Chibnall, is it?
No.
I want to say I like It Takes You Away more, but I don't.
No.
Just because I don't know.
It's got more ideas, but it doesn't... they're all kind of hollow. I was talking to a friend's dad the other day, and he was just kind of like, the ideas were interesting, but so superfluous. Like, they're all just empty.
But I would probably say, on rewatch, I think I would say Rosa, Witchfinders, and Demons of the Punjab are still my highlights of Series 11. Just because they sort of at least worked more overall.
Yes, no, because Demons of the Punjab, Rosa are good episodes, and Witchfinders has Alan Cummings.
Yeah.
And has a great atmosphere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's over. Now we can get back to
Fun stuff.
you know, RTD era, Worst of Classic Who, maybe some other stuff too.
Twilight Zone.
Maybe Black Mirror. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
If you want to feel like slitting your wrists, it's miserable. Not in it's bad, but you'll see when you watch it. If you watch it for the channel,
Right.
Well,
we'll see.
we'll decide. Or you decide.
But yeah, see you next time for, I think, Warriors of the Deep will probably be next after this video.
Okay, cool.
I think Warriors of the Deep's after this one. Yeah.
The wait will...
Yeah, see you next time. We filmed this like 6 months ago or something.
Almost,
ridiculous.
like, it was probably... At least, the most recent it would be September.
Yeah. So, we filmed it ages ago. But basically, Warriors of the Deep, my 100th classic story. And if you watch my top 10 worst stories list, you know it's my least favourite classic story so far. So, not a great way to go for my 100th. But yeah, enjoy us agonise over that one.
Yep, and then hopefully we'll get to stuff that we enjoy talking about.
Yeah.
And we'll be more, alive.
I think we also have to defend Dr. Wet in the Wardrobe in that one as well.
Well, that's an interesting one. I can't remember what I said. I remember most of it was backhanded compliments,
Yeah,
I think.
I think we basically said it's really, really, really shit,
But
it's not hell-bent. Anyway, see you next time.